Oh, that's my sister-in-law Tara just about getting ready to sing too. Sorry, Tara. We got to get started. That's all good. You got to enjoy yourself one way or another there, Joanna. Alright, let's get started, folks. I got to get some ice on this camera. It's already crazy hot. Dramatic tilt up. Perfect view of the fire escape. Let's raise this because I'm so tall. There we go. Oh yeah. Let's get started, shall we? I'm going to move this back just a little bit. Oh, I love this song. Are we all ready, folks? I think we're ready. I think I'm going to skip the applause tonight because I was a little late. And I don't like to be late, but it wasn't my fault. It was technology's fault. I'm sick of technology. Oh my God, I'm so sick of it. So I'm going to hit mute here. Pauline, thanks for checking in. Hope everybody's well tonight. This is a back-to-back night, so to have an audience from last night and an audience for tonight, that's pretty moving. Thank you very much, folks. I'm flattered that you're here. We have two great dishes. I'm very excited. We have a crab bisque, which is good any time of year, but I'm really excited about some peaches that I'm going to grill up for you, and we're going to make a peach caprese salad. So it's going to have peaches, it's going to have some fresh mozzarella, and it's also going to have some prosciutto, some tomato, and a balsamic glaze. So we should get started. We should make a balsamic glaze right away, right? We should do that right away. There's a couple of things we have to do right away. We have to make a balsamic glaze. We have to make a roux. I have to get my mirepoix working. There's a lot cooking tonight. But then again, if we weren't cooking, then we would just be sitting here chatting and, you know, it would just be you hanging out with me in my kitchen if I was just hanging out, you know what I mean? Not cooking. But we're going to cook. I promise you we're going to cook. Bayport-Blue Library. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Thanks for having me. You're one of my favorite libraries. I can't say you're my favorite because then the other people will get upset. You know, like the folks at Hampton Bays or Half Hollow Hills or something like that. I don't want to upset anybody. Well, Sachem. I don't do the Sachem library anymore. I'm done with them. I can tell you that right now. We're going to get a couple of items working on the stove. And then I'll bring the camera in for the stove cam. Here's a non-stick. This is a great non-stick. It's an all-clad pan non-stick. Remember when you cook with non-stick items at home, folks? Never with the metal on the non-stick, okay? If you do that, you should have your face slapped. I'm kidding. You should never have your face slapped. Except if you were in like an old movie, you know? Then somebody slapped you across the face like that. That would be okay. Like John Wayne. Remember the slap that, was it? Oh, Maureen O'Hara. The slap that Maureen O'Hara gave him in the Quiet Man? Wow, that was a legendary slap. I got slapped across the face a couple of times, obviously, as a child. You know, because it was okay back then. And it wasn't even from my parents. It was just from somebody in the neighborhood. Oh, I wish I had my laugh button. I'm putting a little bit of butter in this pan as well. So I'm going to get two things started. I'm going to start a balsamic glaze, and I'm also going to start a roux. They're for two separate items, but you're smart people. So I know that I can trust you to follow along. Oh, I'm starting to hear the mirepoix make a little jingle as well. So we're going to cook a couple of things here at once. You think we can do it, everybody? I think we can do it. Balsamic vinegar. Very, very good store up in New Milford, Connecticut. I got this. So I'm going to start out here with, about a quarter of a cup. And it's already a little syrupy because it's a high quality. And I'm going to put in a little bit of honey. Just a little dash of honey. And that's all I'm really going to need. I think it's time to come in for the cooking cam. Let's take a look here, folks. There we go. See the tilt down? I do have a history in the film business, as some of you know. I directed Ann Mira, for God's sakes. I'm sure she regretted that. I didn't. I learned a heck of a lot. That was some fun. Oh, I got all my gear here. So let's see what we got. Shall we? I have the roux starting here. Whoa, look at that in the back. Really starting to bubble up there. My balsamic glaze. You can see it's already starting to bubble. So I put that on a really low flame in the back. Because I'm not trying to boil that thing. I'm just trying to get some bubbles on the outside of it. I have the flame in the back on as low as it'll go. And up here, where we see this butter starting to melt, that's our roux that we're going to use for the crab bisque. So we have a quarter cup of flour. And now I have a quarter cup of butter. Or you could do a quarter cup of flour and then a quarter cup of butter. It's the same thing. I just said it backwards. Oh my God! That was classic. Oh! And you were all here for it. So there I go. I have my roux working right now. And I'm making sure that I get any little bits of flour out of there. We don't want any little flour globules hiding out in there because we're going to use this roux to help thicken our soup in a little while. And it's a very important thing, folks, when you're whisking on camera, pull the belly out and try to just whisk like this so that you're not shaking the belly on camera, all right? Just keep that in mind for anyone who might be thinking about getting into this wacky business of Facebook cooking. And that's basically all I need. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. So over here, I'm going to show you this mirepoix, which we've seen the mirepoix now a couple of times since we've all been working together, since the COVID has entered our lives. My mom is going to love this because you see here, this is my tomato paste spoon, the demi-tasse spoon. My mother would probably have an actual spoon for tomato paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right into my mirepoix, and I'm going to show you how I do this. Very, very important stuff. Get ready, because I'm going to bring it in for tomato paste cam. Tonight, the tomato paste cam is sponsored by our good friends at Tutoroso Tomato Paste. Because when you have to get tomato paste, get one with a name that's hard to pronounce. You know it's good. So you don't want like Johnny's tomato paste. You know what I'm saying? Get something that's got a better name than Johnny or, you know, Ricky's. Ricky's tomato paste. Tutoroso. Now let's take a look here, and you'll see that I have that tomato paste right in the center. We're doing what's called a pincé. I'm burning the tomato paste to the bottom of this pan, which for some of you probably won't be hard. You see it's starting to burn up. I'm going to get back to your questions, but very important item that we're going to use right now is our clam juice right here. This is La Monica, great brand, coming to our friends from the Garden State, New Jersey. Been in business since 1923. Now you'll hear this sizzle. And this is exactly what we need right now. We need to get that sizzle. And since the tomato paste has been burning itself to the bottom of the pan, it's releasing some natural sugars. And that's exactly what we want. It's really intensifying the flavor. Get ready. Whoa! Clam juice cam, sponsored by our good friends at La Monica. 32 ounces going in there, Chucky. What do you think of that? So basically just, I dropped the whole bit in there, and what I was doing was deglazing that pan with the clam juice. Let's get back out here. Let's widen this out and get back to a wider shot. Look at the sun starting to peek in here. I'll close the blinds for you. Don't worry, folks. Yeah. My laugh button took a beating last night. I don't know what happened to it. I think Maureen was playing with it. She was messing with my stuff. Let's see. Yeah, that sounds about right. Do a little of that. Get some of that out of here. Let's see if we have any questions already. Oh, let's see. No questions already? I'm shocked. Pauline, where are your questions? Oh, there we go. Shelly is here. Welcome. No assistance. Wow, we have a lot of questions we need to get to here. Let's see. Joanna feels like a heathen because she's making sweet sausage and peppers and onions and she's watching a chef. Oh, valuable. Thank you. Nonetheless. Mike Retta, welcome. Hey, Gina. Good to see you. We were using the cut board this afternoon. Hello, Lynn. Linda Reinhold is here. How are you, Linda? Like a Reinhold cowboy. That one's for free. Hey, Brian. Joanna, welcome. Welcome. I missed you last night, too, Joanna. So, well, I'd love to see you here, Pauline. You know that. And the Jaegers are here from Connecticut Library, one of my favorite libraries, the Connecticut Library. Oh, Shelly, you're the best. My friend Shelly Tomlinson, she's logged in here. She makes sourdough bread out of her house. That's way too scientific for me. You know, there's starters and yeast starters, and she's much smarter than I am. Joanna, that's very kind of you. Tara, let's see. I didn't know there was a show tonight. You got it, Tara. Welcome, Mags. My 8-year-old just asked if your kid was in the background, too. No, my kid is not in the background. I don't have any kids. What kind of crab meat do we use? Pauline, tonight we're going to be using... Actually, it's a chicken of the sea, believe it or not. And it works just fine. There we go. So, what was I doing? When I started the bisque, I had the celery, the carrot, and the onion. And you saw me put in the tomato paste. I'm talking really loud. because I'm a little further away from the camera now. Hey, Tara. Can you hear that, Tara? Okay. So, we have our mirepoix. That's our celery, our carrot, and our onion. And that's been cooked down. Look at this. This is our roux. You saw me cook the roux, didn't you? I know you did, because you were all with me. So the flour and the butter have tightened up. And I'm just going to keep this off to the side. Let it come to room temperature. Later on, we're going to take this roux, when it's cooled down a little bit, and put it into that hot soup. Brother Matt always says, hot stock, cold roux. Cold roux, hot stock. My brother Matt. He's not an actual religious brother, but he is my brother. And he's a chef. He's a really great chef, too. Just ask him. Thank you. So I'm going to hold this guy right here. I'll figure out a place for it. Right up here. So remind me later when I'm looking for the roux that it's up here, okay? These are my little ice packs I have on the phone. The poor thing is overheating. We've already burned through one ice pack. Going to flip it around and go to a second one. Oh, boy. I need a real cameraman. With Maureen back in school, which is very selfish, okay? I told the folks last night that Maureen's gone back for her master's degree. And by selfish, I mean is she's doing it, out of the house. She didn't go away. I had encouraged her to go to, any campus she could find. Instead, she's doing it here. So, I'm starting to warm up here. I have the balsamic glaze, which I started the show out with some balsamic vinegar and a little bit of honey. And that sugar is going to work in with the vinegar. It's going to also reduce a little bit. It's going to thicken, and that's our glaze. The sugar from the honey, that's going to give that beautiful sheen, that shine that we were looking for. So I just need to keep a little bit of temperature on it. That's all. We started out by bubbling it up, and then we lowered the temperature. Or as the fancier folks might say, temperature. Okay? Where is my griddle pan? Oh, this pan's been getting a lot of use since COVID. Maureen, as I told you, doesn't let me grill in the house. I said, honey, what do you think this thing is for? It's useless. I never get to use it. My wife's a real scaredy cat when it comes to fire. So, I have my grill pan. Because as I said, my wife will not let me have any charcoal flame in the house. So I said, okay, how about just a gas grill in the house? She won't let me do that. We're very different, my wife and I. You see, she grew up in a house in Connecticut. I grew up in an apartment in Queens. The fire escape, when I was a kid in the winter, that was the extra refrigerator. So if there was a family party, it was a big deal. My dad would be putting the beer and the soda, the turkey, things like that out on the auxiliary refrigerator, as he called it. So I like to, I'm up for various things, whereas Maureen's a little more normal, like, no, you can't have an open fire in the house, and no, that's not a second refrigerator. Whatever. So, we're going to still grill, because I'm getting that pan hot, so don't you worry. Anybody who was worried, I don't want you to worry. Where's my little brush? Oh, here we go. Look at this little guy. Silicone. Silicone? I don't know. Whatevs. I'm going to take a little bit of this olive oil right here. How you doing? Not bad. And myself? Thanks for asking. Oh, slow work on the crab bisque. In the meantime, I'll put a little black pepper in there. And I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back to the peaches. Don't you worry. Don't want to get a bay leaf in here as well. Oh, that's 3. I put 3 in. That's way too much. It'll take me forever to find them. But I would say about bay leaves, you get these in your spice rack, and then like 15 years later, you still have them. So basically, when you run out of bay leaves, you're probably close to the end yourself. So keep that in mind. What can I tell you? That's got to be an omen or something. I dropped the bay leaves, you know? I kicked the bucket, he dropped the bay leaves. Oh my gosh. Not good. Not good. So we got to do some work here, don't we? We got some lovely peaches. Now the peach, you know, the season is not that long, I think. It's only about 3 weeks where you get those really rock solid, awesome peaches. I had some a couple of weeks ago from a farm up in Washington, Connecticut, and man, they were so good. These I had to get from a supermarket, but I did eat one earlier, and it wasn't bad. So you want to get one that's a little touchy, right? Not one that's too firm and rigid, because that's just not ripe yet. You don't want one that you can put your finger through either, because that's going to be mush. A couple of ways to do this. Why don't we get the cut cam, huh? Let's get the cut cam together. Oh, spinning down on the cut cam. Thank you very much. I think that's a great shot right there. Just nerdier. No. You're much smartier. Smartier. Look, I said smartier. That's not even a word. Hot dogs for dinner, Tara. I love hot dogs. Don't knock them. I love a good hot dog. All right, so here's our peach. Couple of ways to do this. I'm getting the pan good and hot. That's first of all. You could do this at your grill at home as well. You want to just slice the peach down like this. These will work. Just like that. You know, I don't really speak emoji that well, but I know for the kids out there, when you send somebody a peach emoji, it means your buttocks. I don't know why. I guess it looks like a buttocks or something, but whatever. I think I'll just take this guy. Alright, so we've got some peaches that we're starting to work up here, as you can see already. That's one way to do it, because we'll make some stacking caprese salad. Another way to do the peach is, let's get that pit out of here, right? So I just go right to the pit. My knife is resting against the pit the whole time. Turn it. Turn it. Careful, Craig. Oh, it's being really vexing me here. And there we go. Just, you see how easy that you see how easy that is. Oh my gosh. It's normally that, there we go. Okay. We'll edit that out later. We'll edit that out in post, as they say. So I can just take some spears like this. And I'm just kind of pulling them right off of the pit. I don't know what happened here. Normally it's a lot easier. As I said, my brother Matt will get back to me tonight with that. I said, what the hell were you doing? But this is gonna be great. You're gonna love them, folks. Anybody out there ever grilled peaches? How about ingredient mirepoix? The Bayport Library wants to know. The mirepoix ingredients, Johanna? Celery, carrot, and onion. That's a mirepoix. So I will tell you more about that as well if you'd like to know. So we have these sort of like the spears, all right, or we have the discs. Why don't we do 4 spears and 3 discs? 4 spears and 3 discs ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. Okay, little Gettysburg Address. Nice job, Craig. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's not nice. Alrighty. Okay, take it easy out there. Where is my little brush? Here's my brush. So what I do is, I'm going to brush these up, just like this. Tonight's Brush Cam is sponsored by our good friends at Brush America. When you need a brush, and you're in a rush, remember, Brush America. So, boom, boom, just like that. Get a little bit of olive oil on these peaches. Now I'll flip this peach, I'll flip this peach. Same thing. And here we go. Now I have oil on these. Doesn't hurt for me to put a dash of oil on the pan either. Who's to stop me? I'm the boss here. I'm the boss. I always say that when Maureen isn't here, I'm the boss. Okay. I think we're ready for peach cam. Now let's take a look at that griddle top. Shelly, have you ever grilled the peaches before? I'm starting to see some smoke coming off that griddle top. Let's get these down. There's obviously a lot of sugar on here that's going to caramelize to the pan. And what we're looking for here is not to overcook them, but just to get some seared marks so we can see the griddle mark. Changing out the ice pack. There you go. You see there? Looking good, right? Won't take too long. Oh, look at that. That's amazing. I'll turn the peach. Let's keep that one going. Unbelievable, Craig. Oh my God. You're such a little griller. I know. Look at that. It's amazing. We really just need a couple of good-looking marks here for demo purposes. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. Look at that. How about that for the peach cam? So as I say, we want to go until we get some nice-looking marks on them. Now, just like if you were doing a steak, if your marks are going this way, just turn your steak, and then you get that diamond cut pattern that you might like when you're presenting your steaks to your neighbors or something. Oh, those are going to be terrific. Now, if we look back over here, we start to see that the glaze is starting to thicken. Yeah, sure, you can use a gas grill, Shelly. And that's our soup, which we'll be getting back to. But we're going to run this thing in order right now, okay? Those peaches are done. I got the marks I needed. I'm going to turn that griddle off. Remember, folks, when you live here in Studio 1C, it gets a little smoky. And the old lady gets a little cranky. Right, Maureen? Yeah, right. Okay, take it easy. Oh, boy. The beautiful sound of my wife. Yeah, sure, Greg. It's Craig. It's Craig with a C. Please, learn it. Learn my name already. Ay, ay, ay. And let's tilt that down just a touch. So the peaches are done. I'm going to make up, as I said, like, some stackers. So to do that, I would take my knife and I just cut, these are vine tomatoes. And you can get these from any of your neighbors out there. Just wait till they're not looking. And let's get a couple of perfect discs, shall we? That's all I need. And now this one, I'll save the rest and I'll take these cubes. And maybe I'll cube up one more. There's this piece right here. There we go. I'm going to do this two ways for you. We're going to call this our stackers. And now we're going to get some peaches, don't I? If anybody was listening to the music before this, there was some Pete Seeger music that I was working on. And Woody Guthrie, there's a man coming around and he's taking names. A lot of that music that I played beforehand comes from my Uncle Richie. May he rest in peace. He had a band that They covered the Weaver songs, and they covered particularly Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie. And a lot of these songs dealt with the Union movement in the United States, and some of them dealt with, if you remember the Grapes of Wrath, the families traveling west in search of grapes, in search of anything that they can pick, because the Dust Bowl had hit. The crops had taken such a giant hit. The families were really destitute, so they kept heading west looking for things to pick, whether it be grapes or peaches. And in a lot of cases, the crops were so bad, people would travel far away, and the peaches would be bad. They were rotten when they got there. A lot of sad music from that era. The Dust Bowl, the Depression, not really known for their swinging hits. But I thought it was nice to have a little bit of peach music on tonight before we did this. What do you think? I think it was a great idea. Thank you. Nicely done, everybody. You're doing great. You're all doing great. Let's get that very clear right now. Now, I have some prosciutto. This is from just one of the best spots in all of Astoria. And I'm talking about, of course, Cereso's. It's a great store. And look how perfectly thin they sliced all this. Just beautifully. If you're getting fresh, if you're getting prosciutto, make sure they got a nice wax paper. It's got to be nice. So, Frank's got great prosciutto. He also makes fresh mozzarella there, basically by the hour. So this was made this afternoon at about 1:30. It's dripping a little bit because it sits in a bit of a saltwater brine. So he makes it, and then when you say you'd like some, you can get a braid of mozzarella, they call it. I just, say, hey, give me this much, Frank, and I'll say I want it salted. I like it salted, which basically means that they put it back into the salt water for a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, and this doesn't go in the refrigerator when you get it, okay? It does not. He always says, keep it at room temperature. And in the winter months, he says, leave it in a bag on your windowsill. Frank's old school. So as I said, I can just pull a little nugget right here. However you want to do that. Cut up a couple of little pieces. Try a piece for yourself as well, right? You got to try a little piece for yourself. Oh my God, that is so good. Unbelievable. So, in order to make, as I was calling it, this stacker, this caprese stacker, however you want to do it, it's up to you. I say we're going to start out with a tomato, a slice of mozzarella, prosciutto, a little bit of basil. You don't have to worry about cutting this basil either, okay? But give yourself a nice leaf of basil right there. Oh, goodness gracious, Craig. And I think we're pretty much ready now for our first peach. Oh, mamma mia. My. Wait till you folks get a load of this peach. I think you're going to flip. Tomato, mozzarella. Look at me dropping in a little mozzarella. You could say mozzarella, it's okay. In Italy, they don't say mozzarella, and they don't say calamari either. They say calamari. Okay, so sorry if I've broken some hearts out there from all my Italian friends who I went to high school with. Another one of these beautiful pieces of prosciutto. That's very Giada. I don't like when Giada does that. She's like, oh yeah, I came from the store, the kids had ice cream, and I had myself a cup of coffee and prosciutto and ciabatta. Don't put on airs with me. Oh my God, you're gonna love the look of this thing. I almost don't even want to put the glaze on it. Now, there's one way to do it. The other way to do it, as I said, we make ourselves a little smash up salad. So we just take our cheese, we smash it up. You can serve this sort of right on the side, you know, make it one platter. If you don't want to do the stacker, as I said, I like to do the stacker. I think it looks really nice. So I put some of that, and then I take some of my tomatoes, and I would just be mixing all this together. And the colors look great between the basil and the tomato, the bright white of the mozzarella, and the green. Oh, the green really helps. Now we need some of the little chunkier ones. Oh boy. So this is the other way we can do it, is that we can put this together. You can serve the salad any way you like. I'm showing you 2 ways on one plate. 2 salads, 1 plate. You're not getting that from the other library chefs, I'll tell you that. No way. Oh my. I really don't usually get impressed with anything I do. The only thing I've ever done that was really good was marry Maureen. Did I say that right, honey? Did I say that right? It was good? Alright, get back. Okay, so that's done. Now I've got here my balsamic glaze. Now, look at me, I got a little metal in this nonstick pan, but I'm barely touching the pan. You'll see it just coats the back of the spoon. That's what we want. We want it to coat the back of the spoon. And I'm gonna drizzle some of this. Oh, mamma mia. Mama. I'm not as good with this thing, you know, the making it fancy part, making it look fancy, like my brother Matt does. He's good with that stuff. But I'm really super excited for you folks to see this, shall we? And here we are, folks. This is what we call the stacker, right? So that's the one that's the straight slice of peach. This is the more rustic salad that we've just kind of cobbled together, thrown together. Reminds me of my days when I was frolicking in places where people frolic, and I would frolic. Oh, that one just came out so good. We're going to have to take a photo of that later, and I'll get it up to the 1-hour photo, and I'll get it developed. I think that sounds like a real plan. Oh, I think we might have some questions here too. Let's see what we got. Shall we? Okay, so eventually you would put, hello Bernadette. Beautifully done. Hey Roberto. Roberto Abad is checking in. I hope you're feeling better, Roberto. I know you haven't been feeling well with the migraine, so I hope you're feeling better. Roberto grew up over by us on 60th Street. He was lived in my grandfather's building. And Roberto, whether it was true or not, I don't really know. But my brothers once told me that Roberto hit an airplane with a stickball. So, as a kid, I thought Roberto was pretty damn cool. Thank you, Tara. So eventually, you would put the mozzarella back in the refrigerator. Linda? I don't know what I'm going to do with this mozzarella tonight. I haven't made up my mind. It's definitely too hot to leave out. You know, he's got it in his air-conditioned store, and it's sitting in some liquid. So, temperature-wise, he's probably okay. I think what I could do is maybe, don't tell Maureen this, I'll put it in my drawer in the bedroom because we got the air conditioner on. So it's pretty cool in there. She keeps that room so cold. It's so cold. It's too cold. I'm like, honey, please, can we turn this thing up a little bit? I always have my father's voice in my head too. Like, do you really need the air conditioner? You don't need that air conditioner. My father would say that to us. He would literally be just melting. He'd be like an ice cube, dripping. And he'd be like, it's not bad. There's a nice breeze coming in. You don't need the air conditioner tonight. Wow, that looks super. You look super, Pete. They both look amazing. Thank you, Joanna. Let's see. You're killing me, Roberto. Colleen, looking good. You're looking good. Oh, wow. Debbie is starving. Debbie, don't starve. You've been cooking like crazy lately. I think you, if anybody, should not be starving. You've been putting out some great-looking dishes. How long can the cheese last in the refrigerator? Joanne Fiore wants to know. I wouldn't know because this cheese doesn't last very long around here. Okay? Ah, that's great. The other night I let Maureen cut the cheese. Oh. Stop it. Stop it. It'll last in there for a day or two, but when it sits in the refrigerator, it gets pretty, it really constricts and gets very tight. You want mozzarella to have a bit of a softness to it. Not like that block of polio, which is not the worst thing in the world when you're making, pizza muffins and things like that. It works. But for something like this, you want to have the softer, fresh mozzarella. Not so soft that it's like burrata, that you cut it and it's going to kind of bleed out. You don't want to go that soft. So it'll last in the fridge for a couple of days. But if you're going to get it at a great place like Cereso's in Astoria, or anywhere where you get fresh mozzarella, don't get that much. There's no need to get a lot. Just get what you need and enjoy it while it's great, as opposed to putting it in the fridge and then eating it when it's not so great. How's that sound? This is so good. So this is a cured meat. Prosciutto is cured, meaning that it's from the back leg of a pig. All right, so it'll be kind of like back here. I know. Probably too sexy for the library crowd. I'm sorry about that, Kelly. So what they do is they take the leg, and when you're curing something, it basically gets packed in salt, and the salt withdraws the moisture from inside of the meat, because that moisture is what would generate bacteria and things like that. If you have liquids, that's where a lot of bacteria gets transferred, is in liquids. So in this case, the salt pulls the liquids out of the ham, or the pig in this case, and that's a very, very generalized version of how you would make prosciutto. Oh, I'm so excited about that. I hope my brother Matt is watching, because if Matt's watching, he'll go out and he'll get some peaches, and he'll grill up some peaches, and he'll have a great night for himself. Oh, let's see. Oh, hello, Melissa. Yummy. Thank you very much. Let's see if I'm missing anybody. Classic Craig right there. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sticking to the Canada Dry. Oh, I haven't had a beer since this afternoon. And I'm hanging in, I'm hanging in there. So you just gotta take your time with it. Now, we've been cooking away over here, haven't we? Sure we have. This balsamic glaze, this is gonna go really nice over some ice cream. You can put this over a little bit of vanilla ice cream. Don't be afraid to maybe flavor that up with some mint. My neighbor Steve, who a lot of times is the beneficiary of a lot of these things, him and his wife Sharon got an ice cream maker. So, boy, can these folks make ice cream? Kevin LaMonica, have you ever had a Fresca? Oh, I haven't had a Fresca in a long time, Kevin. But sure, I've had a Fresca. Let's see. I saw the feed went down on this computer. I wanted to make sure you folks are all still out there and okay. So let me know you're all okay out there. I see we still have some folks here. There we go. We're back. All right, good. Yeah, Fresca, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, was the grapefruit flavored soda. Wasn't the biggest hit, but it stuck around for quite a while. It was no Mountain Dew, you know, but it did okay. He's trying to comment and need tech support. Oh, my poor brother, Matt. Well, he's got those really thick fingers, Tara. It's hard to... I kid. Welcome, Miguel. Welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. We are having hot dogs because I made 8 meals for Kerry Fitzgerald and the family who told me about you. And we had some of your recipes, too. Oh, well, I'm glad you did. Like I said, don't knock a good hot dog. A hot dog is, as Humphrey Bogart once said, a hot dog at the ball game beats roast beef at the Ritz. Okay? So I didn't know I was going to have to use my hot dog quotes tonight, but... Oh. Thank you. Very kind of you all. You've seen this guy before. Sure you have. Whenever you get the tongs, you have to do that. First things first. You gotta see if they work. And then this little pinky Tuscadero. Happy days. Oh, this thing's at a rolling boil, which is fine. That's exactly what we want. What I'm gonna do here is, I'm just gonna lower that temperature. I'm gonna add the roux in. And I was saying before, with regards to the roux, glad I remembered where it was. Cold roux, hot stock, hot stock. Cold roux, hot stock, cold roux. Hot roux, cold stock. A couple of weeks ago, we made some asparagus bisque, and we put the flour and the butter into the mirepoix together, and then we put the cold stock in. So tonight we're doing the reverse. The other thing that you should know when it comes to these roux, as I said, this is what's called a blonde roux. Not a lot of flavor to this. If you cook it a lot longer, you have a dark roux. It would smell nutty and look like chocolate. That's something you would use to start, for example, a gumbo. In New Orleans, they say the roux for a gumbo should be the color of the muddy Mississippi. And that's done with oil and flour, not butter and flour. So this is the blonde roux. The real major difference between the blonde roux and the dark roux is, a lot of people say the blonde roux tends to have more fun. Stop it. Ah, you folks. Okay, I'm going to work this right into our pan, but I think it's important that we get our bisque cam going, right? Welcome to Bisco and the bisque cam. There we go. Get ready for the bisque cam. Beep, 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 beep. That's the bisque cam. Nicely done, folks. Let's see. I have my whisk. Don't ever risk it, folks. You want to whisk it. Oh my gosh. So here's our hot stock. And here's my roux going in. And the main thing that we want to do here is make sure that it all sort of gets cooked in there, because these little bit of, this roux can kind of hit the bottom and hide. And we don't want to do that. We want the roux to really get incorporated throughout this whole soup. We don't want any little roux globules, okay? I don't know if that's an actual cooking term. I'll have to check with my brother Matt on that, but I think it's called a roux globule. There we go. And this is going to start to thicken up. And the final thing that's going to thicken this bisque is when I burr it, or I blend it. Some of you might be thinking, is this the way you make crab bisque? Well, this is the way I make crab bisque, and I've never had anybody complain. There's nobody here complaining that I know of. Greg! Maureen, stop it, please. Okay? Go back. Just get into the back. I want a sandwich! All right! Give me a minute. Sorry, folks. Maureen's hungry. And when she's hungry, I gotta get her sandwiches right away. We don't like to upset Maureen. No, we don't. Never want to upset Maureen. When she's hungry, you get it for her right away. Yes, honey, I'll be right there, I promise. Yeah, I know. She's insane. She's crazy. Okay. Let's hope this thing's not too high. It could be. It could be. Oh, I'm just gonna burr this baby up. So, I'm smashing up all these veggies. I'm blending them in. It's gonna be a beautiful puree. We've got this thing flavored with clam juice. We've got our mirepoix, our celery, our carrot, our onion. We're missing crab meat though, right? We gotta put a little crab meat, maybe a little bit of sherry in here. Sherry! Sherry baby! Thank you. Thank you, folks. I appreciate that. I don't get to sing a lot. Maureen has outlawed singing and dancing in the apartment. I live in Footloose, basically. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice. Nice and thick. Ignore the recipe that I sent out. It just, you don't need it. You got me doing this for you right here, and that's all we need. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, thought I heard some footsteps. Oh! Oh boy, it is Maureen. Okay, I'm sorry, honey. We'll get you that sandwich ASAP.
Don't you think people are tired of hearing how mean I am?
No, people love about how mean you are.
Well,
People always ask, is she really that mean? Yeah, yes, you bet she is. Who let you out of that cage? Maureen's here, everybody.
I bit my way out.
She
I'm
bit
so
her way out of the
hungry.
cage. She's hungry. You want that sandwich? Ooh, a little bit of heavy cream gonna go in here. There we go. That's gonna be really nice. And if you cook this down even more, it's only gonna get sort of a stronger seafoody flavor because of that clam juice. That clam juice, as you cook it down, it gets a little saltier because you're taking out the water from the clam juice. So it will get saltier. But right now we've got a little bit of heavy cream in there. And now we're going to add a little bit of crab meat. But I want to get you over here to the crab cam. Tonight's crab cam is sponsored by Shelley's. Shelley's Crab Cam. When you've got time for crabs, but you don't want to get them the old-fashioned way, go to Shelley's. Shelley's Crab Meat. Thank you, Shelley's. You see here? Look at this, folks. We got some crab meat coming at you. Dumping that right here. Now, when you go to the store and you buy crab meat, it comes in a couple of different varieties. One of the varieties would be lump. One of the varieties would be claw. This is claw meat. And this is exactly what we want. I always compare claw meat to a chicken thigh. You know, chicken thighs are tastier than the breast, but they're also cheaper. So here, we've got the claw meat. See, it's not the bright white lump crab meat that we're used to, and therefore it is a little less expensive, but it's got more flavor because this is in the, it's in the claw, just like a lobster. The best parts of lobster are the knuckles and the claws and the legs. The tail has a lot less flavor. So I'm just picking through in case there's any shells. And maybe you'll find a shell, maybe you won't, but if you did... Ow! Ah! Ah! That's what it would feel like if you got a shell. But I just did that to show you what it would look like. I really didn't get any shells. Crab cam. Oh my God, the folks love that one. All right, so that's our crab meat. And we're going to put this right into our bisque right now. We are Bisco, and we're making a bisque tonight, so I'm assuming that that's pretty good synergy. Right? We're going to call that synergy. Calling it synergy. Hot soup. Hot stuff here. Hot stuff. And a bisque. Ah, people love that one. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now I gotta put a little bit of cayenne in here. Not a lot, just a little bit. But that's kind of a lot. But it's got a good spice to it. Now I have to go get my sherry, which I keep in my top drawer. Well, it looks like Maureen found it. She was probably nipping at the hooch again. But here I'm going to use a little bit of Tony Port. It's sweet, so we want to use something sweet. So in this case, a dash of port wine, a dash of sherry. You can even use a rum for a bit of a different flavor. Who am I to tell you what to do? I'm not the boss. I am the boss. Tony Danza's the boss. Crab meat going in. So I'm going to answer some more questions in a moment. That's a lot of crab meat for this. Oh, what the heck. You're all my friends, right? I'm glad you're all here with me. So we've got the crab meat in there. And a little dash of this port wine. As I say, it's got a little bit of a smell to it. A little sweetness. A little goes a long way. So don't try to get yourself whacked up on that, all right? Well, you know what I'm going to do is just save this one little nibble, and then we'll use that as a garnish, okay? This is a wonderful looking crab bisque. As I said, there's many ways to make crab bisque. This is the way I make it. I'm going to just give you a heads up. The other ways to make it are much harder. Much, much harder. But as I always say to my mom, you know what, Mom? Yeah, whatever's harder. Whatever's harder. Oh boy, let's do that. And then let's put a little bit of this crab meat right on top. Let that kind of, wow, it just sunk right to the bottom. So, you know what you do then? A little bit of parsley. That's my buddy Bobby Casella. Bobby Parcella. Parsley cam coming in. So here we have the Bisco Crab Bisque. She's a beaut. She's a real beaut. And over here we have it's velvety. It's velvety smooth. My friend Carmine, my good buddy Carmine once said, after having my brother Matt's crab bisque, he said, you know, it's not just that it was great, it was thirst quenching. I'll never forget when he said that. I thought that was really cool. He thought it was thirst quenching. A thirst quenching bisque. We were going out to a jet tailgate. So, I'm going to just check for some questions here. We always tend to exceed the hour or so, don't we? What can I tell you? I like spending time with you folks. And it keeps me out of the crosshairs, you know what I mean? So, really important stuff that we need to discuss. Some restaurants, when they make their crab bisque, they take a bunch of crabs and they'll boil blue claw crabs with a mirepoix. They'll make this really, really intense crab stock, and that involves taking a burr like I had before, but it's about this long, and it looks like something you'd use on a street to mix cement or something. And they'll crush all those shells, and then they'll run that through a strainer, a chinois, and they'll have that as a stock, and they'll boil that down. There's cream involved. Some of them do not use a roux at all, but we use a roux tonight, and I think you can really get a lot of great flavor just with a jar of good clam juice. Or go to your fishmonger and ask him or her to open you some clams and save the juice. Use the clams for something else. La Monica was the clam juice I used tonight, and you can usually get decent sized jars. 32 ounces is what I used tonight. Alright? And this is a very, very good crab bisque. As for the crab meat, never imitation crab meat. Never the meat that's on the shelf near the tuna fish. No. It's always the cold section crab meat. And get the claw meat. Save yourself a couple of dollars. But keep the flavor. Let's see. Can I leave cayenne pepper out? Colleen, of course you can leave the cayenne pepper out. You are free to do whatever you need. Let's see. Hi, Maureen. Is that a Revlon mixer, Tara? No, that's a Cuisinart. That's a Cuisinart. And it's a really good mixer. Oh, boy. That's my sister-in-law, Tara. She's also my good friend. She's a bugger. Colleen Barbella wants to know, how much tomato paste did I use? I used about 2 teaspoons. Okay? Or a couple of these little guys. Now remember, folks, when it comes to tomato paste like this, what you want to do now is get a piece of saran wrap. Put it over here, and then a rubber band around it. You'll put this in the door of your refrigerator, and then in 6 months you'll throw it away. Don't get me started. Can you wear the green superhero outfit next time? The Aquaman outfit. Yeah, maybe Aquaman could do a cooking demo here. Debbie, I think that might be nice. Let's see. Nice pan. Yes, these are all-clad pans. Miguel, if you would like all-clad pans, I suggest, if you're not already, get married and have your wife register for things. And then you wake up one day and you're like, holy cow! That's how you get them. So I answered the tomato paste. Yes, it's not a Revlon mixer, Tara. Pay no mind, Maureen. We know you're not like anything, Craig says. Well, love the name, Shelley. Yes, you get no royalties, but we'll give you a big shout out for the sourdough baking. Roberto, he's sitting in bed, as I mentioned. He's sick. He's miserable. Let's see. But I've made his day. Oh, that's sweet. By the way, my baby sister, Maura, you would have had your grandpa bring you to my mom's apartment. Yes. Yes, for sure. My grandfather was in 4D. Leave out the cayenne pepper. Yeah, you saw me there. Is the crab meat canned? Yes, Joanna, it's canned crab meat. I would never go to the store and buy a bunch of crabs and pick the meat out of them. It would just take forever. I can't do that. No way. It's too much. Oh, too bad we can't really taste it. I know, Linda. We'll all be back in person one day, and I'll be able to dish this up. And for the few folks out there who don't know how this goes, normally I'd be at the Bayport-Blue Point Library with my buddy Larry. We'd be doing this live in front of 40 people, and everybody would get to sample it. And we would all have a good laugh and a little bite. Let's see. I know, Joanne. I am so sorry. Me too. I wish I was making this. Yes, Miguel, all clads are great. And if you don't have one of the non-stick, definitely get one of the non-stick. At least one, the small one. Great for fried eggs, things like that. Yes, thank you, Colleen, for that. Well, it looks like we're running out of comments. So unless anybody has a comment, let me know. We're off next Monday. Whatever library I had canceled, maybe we'll just do one for the sake of doing one. See what I got lying around. It'll be unsanctioned, so that means we get to curse in that one. The library really puts the reins on me here. They told me no F-bombs. Thanks a lot, Kelly. All right, you folks. It's that time of night. And we never really finish on this angle. We always finish straight down the barrel, as we say in the business. But here we've got it tricked out. Oh, you can see my cardinal over my shoulder. He's looking away. Let's put the cardinal out. Maureen got this cardinal here. Because, you know, when a cardinal comes to visit, that means somebody who's left us is here. So the cardinal, whenever you see a cardinal, that's somebody who has left us on Earth, but they're coming in for a visit. So if any of you can see this cardinal, think of somebody who's not here now, and that's them saying hello to you. Thank you again, Joanna. I guess I'll be seeing you all in the coming weeks or so. Our next official demo is August 31st, and that's going to be live from the backyard of a house out in Southampton. Maureen and I decided to get away for a couple of days, and I had a library gig that night, and they won't let me reschedule. So I'm going to do it from the backyard of the house that we're staying in. Join us for a live, on-location Bisco cooking demo. We're going to do some striped bass with a garlic mustard sauce and a Long Island chowder. We're going to bring New England and Manhattan and see where they meet right in the middle. Folks, I love you all. Be kind to one another, and let's just be kind in general. I think we can all agree that that would be a good idea. Mask up, look out for each other, look out for your neighbor, check in on them, see if they need anything. More than anything, folks, go in peace. Good night, everybody.